Theory of relativity. Travelling into Glasgow by bus a couple of weeks ago, reader Donald Grant happened to sit behind a couple of ladies of generous proportions. Amongst the subjects discussed by them was how certain items had decreased in size over the years. "Have you noticed that even lavvy paper is much smaller?" said one lady. Came the swift response, "Is it no gist that your A is now a lot bigger?" Max Factor. Legendary media supremo Colin McClatchie dealt with many larger-than-life characters working in the world of newspapers. None more so than Robert Maxwell, the notorious publisher whom Colin recalls in his entertaining new book A Musing, a colourful account of McClatchie's illustrious career. Maxwell had his fair share of what Shakespeare scholars would label fatal flaws, including a tendency to massacre the English language. One of our favourite Maxwell manglings, highlighted in Colin's book, was the bizarre, "They locked the stable horse after the door was bolted." Neigh, can that be right? Maxwell wasn't the only mauler of the language, of course. We're betting a few readers have also come across some fumbled and flipped on their head phrases. Banged up baloney. The panto season is over, although a Bishop Briggs reader gets in touch to admit he's still in a widowed wanky state of mind and wants to know whether fabled panto performer Johnny Mac acquired his curious catchphrase from a Bolinian mate pleased with his accommodation. Enjoying Marcel could be the origin of the immortal line, enjoying Marcel, argues our reader. Droopy Draws. Another fond recollection of the much-missed novelist Alistair Gray. We're told Gray was leaning against the Oranmore bar one day, as was his habit, expounding wisely on various esoteric topics. If the conversation had been recorded for posterity, it may have sounded something like this: blah blah. Platonic forms. Blah blah. Da Vinci's use of the golden ratio. Blah blah. Shakespeare's Dark Lady. All very educational, entertaining and highbrow. Meanwhile, below the brow, a long way below, Alistair's trousers have come untethered and were abseiling downwards, eventually coming to rest round the great man's ankles. During this graceful descent Alistair kept up his intellectual musings, seemingly oblivious to any chill from below. Only when the conversation had come to a natural lull were the breeches hoiked back to their traditional resting place, somewhere in the vicinity of his waist. Barred not barred. London-based Scottish actress Louise Stewart has tonsillitis, putting her in a nitpicking sort of mood. "I won't tolerate anything but flattering, grovelling and overly sympathetic comments towards me," she says, adding in a slightly more conciliatory fashion, "If you are a bard, I will also accept a song played by lute." Bookbind. For more on this story, visit the news article link.